for those of us that are from Portland, we know that every Sunday there's potluck in the park.
Potluck in the park, which several groups go together and feed homeless.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they provide a meal.
A physical meal.
So,
yeah.
And this would be communion in the park. This would be a group of people coming together. And so just as Common Cathedral in Boston is kind of at the heart of Ecclesia Ministries there, we want to be part of Ecclesia Ministries. Our part will be in Portland will be called Communion in the Park.
Communion in the Park. Now, backing up, who originally had the idea to start Ecclesia Ministries? And about how many years ago was that? Ecclesia Ministries is just starting here in Portland, right?
That's right.
But it's been going for in several cities all over the country, all over the world for quite some time now. But who originally got that idea and started it going, and how many years?
Oh, that's a great question. So about 10 years ago, a woman named Debbie Little,
right,
who was Episcopalian. Interesting, your letter was from somebody from the Church of England, because Church of England here is the Episcopal Church. The Anglican Church here is the Episcopal
Church, right?
So she was Episcopalian. So she was a PR exec. She was in her 40s, and she felt a calling to be bringing a ministry to the homeless.
To the homeless.
And so she went to the church, and after doing the educational stuff and whatever was required to become ordained, she went to the Episcopalian church and said, I feel this calling that I should be doing a ministry specifically to the homeless. And
but wasn't she doing some of that before she went to the church?
That's exactly right. She was she had taken sandwiches. She made sandwiches. And she put them in a backpack. And she carried around a backpack around Boston Commons, and she handed it out to anybody who was hungry. And so this was kind of her extension of that, and this would be her ministry. And the Episcopal Church originally said, no, that to be an ordained minister, you needed 4 walls, you needed a community that was inside those walls. That's what a parish minister was supposed to be, and that's what she should be ordained to. But she kept at it, and she kept at it.
Doing it anyway.
And doing it anyway, and the Episcopal Church ordained her to that, so that became her ministry. And with that, about 10 years ago, Ecclesia Ministries was founded. And Ecclesia, like you said, is the old Greek word for the church. And so it's really the church's ministry. And in Boston, Ecclesia Ministries is an umbrella of all sorts of services. So feeding people, housing people, clothing people, and at the center of it is this worship service.
So the Ecclesiastic Ministries in Boston and probably other cities do more than just weekly church service and Holy Communion.
That's right.
They have a thing for housing. Isn't it kind of like that? What's the one that we worked with here in Portland? The projects.
Northwest Pilot Project.
Northwest Pilot Projects here in Portland
wonderful
does
program.
that type of thing.
Yes, and that
finds
began,
housing for indigent people and so on.
Exactly. And like many organizations like that, Northwest Pilot Project began, their first house, their first place, their first offices was in a church, and now they're on their own. So I think that's kind of the exciting thing about this is it's possible that Communion in the Park will keep expanding just as Ecclesia Ministries is much bigger in Boston. Maybe this will be a whole umbrella of different options and different possibilities of ministry. But the exciting part is that every Sunday there will be a group of us who will gather downtown, 1:30 every Sunday.
In the park blocks here in Portland, Oregon.
That's right. Between, if you're in Portland, it's between Columbia and Jefferson
right.
downtown.
Up near Portland State.
That's right. And we'll gather there, and there will be ministers there every week. Right now we're those who are talking about it. Our little group is Gary Davis, who was a UCC United Church of Christ minister,
Church of Christ.
And now he is at
Operation
Night Watch.
Night Watch, right?
And so he'll be part of it, and Father Dennis Parker, and I'll be part of it, and the Ken Arnold will be part of it as deacon.
And I had mentioned it to Dr. Wheeler at First Baptist, and he's very interested in it too.
Perfect.
And so each minister each week, and you'll do it once a month, you will be in charge of a monthly service.
That's right.
And who did you ask to come and preach at the service that you're in charge of?
Well, funny you should mention that. So each of us as ministers, we talked about this. We decided that some of us felt a real gift of preaching and had done some preaching to the homeless and had done some street ministry and stuff. And so some ministers will probably do the entire service.
Sure.
But others of us said that they felt really gifted in welcoming everybody, doing the prayers, doing some things like that. But would it be okay if we invited some people we thought would be amazing preachers and would definitely speak to the crowd? And I specifically asked, would it be okay if I invited Sister Paula to join me, and that in fact we would be the Paul and Paula
right.
Service. And so very enthusiastically the ministers agreed, and so as part of Ecclesia Ministries, all of us wear this cross. And so I want to present you with one of these crosses.
This is an Ecclesia cross that they wear all over the country.
They're all over the country, everybody in Ecclesia. And so for right now, it's the ministers and the leaders, but what we hope to have happen is that a community of us will be gathering every Sunday, and then people will begin to say, well, I'd like to wear the Ecclesia cross.